was a point where one of the kids did some ish, bana. And then my auntie's friend started going ham on this kid, bana. Paka me was just like, hey, hold up, man. You know me, but I never... Whenever I see injustice, I'll call out BS, manze. I was like, hold on. She's fine. You don't have to scold her like that. You know, hey, you get banana. This mama went ham on that kid. And it got me thinking even about how we were raised, right? Especially millennials. I don't know about Gen Zs that much. But you get our folks told us some hurtful things. And some of us have never healed, bro. You keep on remembering those things even teachers told you while in school. You're never gonna amount to anything. You're so thick. Consider that one for thick. Why are you so thick? Why can't you get this thing? I said it's pi r squared times and you're like, damn, I'm actually dumb. You get, I might not make it. And now that time you're thinking, oh my God, I want to be an astronaut, yeah? But now, somebody has already cast a spell on you. And now you forever think about that, yeah? Paka, when you fail kidogo in some sort of exam, all the way to uni, you're just thinking about what your folks told you. I'm that crazy teacher in primary school. So, let's have a conversation about things that folks should never tell their kids. Parents, and not just parents, adults. In fact, if you're a parent, it's interesting because yesterday we were talking about how many kids are missing these days, yeah? Some of them have been abducted, others were abandoned. It's very sad what our kids are going through these days, yeah? Listen, if you're a parent, you should be very concerned about some of the things that, teachers, adults out there tell your kids. Because those things stick, man. So parenting is obviously very demanding. And it can be very hard, especially in this day and age when the economy is very volatile, yeah? So, parents tend to lose their patience sometimes, if not a lot of the times, yeah? Maybe the kids are misbehaving, and we also make mistakes. You say certain things to your kids and you're like, oops, crap, man, I shouldn't have said that. Damn, let me go buy her a pizza, man. Said, yeah, oh, mama, I'm so sorry. I'm so silly. Who? Nani amesema hivyo? Kumbe, that's you who said it. Why do folks do that, by the way? Yeah, but one thing you need to understand is that there's certain things that you say, that you've been saying to your kids, and it really hurts them. Yeah, and it's not just about venting to your kids. Yeah. Sometimes, by the way, even the praises that we give our children, you can think it's a positive thing. It's going to have a positive impact on your kid. Yeah, and I understand, oh my God, like you really love your child. But just understand, those things you're telling your kids, even if, like I said, it's a positive thing, those praises can be harmful. So I'm going to give you a list. There's a lot of them. Yeah, so we're going to, I'll give you like 15 of them. Yeah, and then when we come back, I'll continue. But this is just some of the things that you should never say to your children. For example, number one, what's wrong with you? Yeah, can you imagine? And then you squint your eyes. What's wrong with you? Daisy, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? So, according to a family therapist, a lady called Carol, she said, and I quote, when a trusted adult, a person whom the child is dependent for everything, indicates that something is wrong with the child, a child will internalize this and believe it. They will ask themselves what is wrong with them, and they won't be able to find the answer. A child's little brain doesn't even have the ability to actually dig deep and do an audit and find out what's really wrong with them. So you as an adult, at a way where sometimes you don't even know what's wrong with you, why are you pressuring this kid, asking them, Ati, what's wrong with you? You think, obviously, this kid is going to start asking himself, Ati, I'm probably not complete. Something must be wrong with me. So stop asking your child, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with them? You get another one. You're being too sensitive. Awful stuff, man. You get, so the child will most likely believe they can't trust or express their feelings because they're wrong. This can be damaging because the child will believe that indeed something is wrong with them. Yeah, so don't say that until you're being too sensitive. Another one, very common, leave me alone, yeah? So probably your child has kuja, you get in the room excited about some information, they've missed you, they've been playing outside for some time, and then you're like, leave me alone, and close that door. Look at this one. So don't do that, guys. Don't do that. You know, as a millennial, most of us were told those things, Mazen, they were hurtful. You get, yeah? Paka, you were scared of even going to tell your mom some important things, something crazy that has happened to you. Yeah, something crazy that a stranger has told you. Yeah, so saying this too much, if you say this too much, you risk your child actually doing this on a permanent basis. You get, they'll actually start avoiding you. If you're always unavailable, then there's no point in talking to you, right? That's what they're thinking. Another one, don't eat that or you're going to get fat. Yeah, so children are not expected to behave like adults, obviously. And even if they're behaving a bit too childish, yeah, there's probably a reason. They say kids might revert to old patterns of behavior when they're anxious, nervous, or scared, right? Yeah, so... oh, my bad. Sorry. So when you tell... What? I'm reading something else. So when you tell your kid that you don't eat that, you're going to get fat, this is a great way to kickstart an eating disorder in your kid. It's a parent's responsibility to tell the... It's a parent's responsibility what they feed their children. Children should not be worrying about their body, image, and their diet. Listen... They're not old enough to understand the importance of certain diets. You know what I mean? So it's your responsibility to feed your kid, good stuff. A proper diet. But you can't start telling your kid that you don't eat that, you're going to get fat. Don't tell your kid that, bana. Yeah, so stop being such a baby. That's a very common one, yeah? Don't be such a baby. Why are you crying too much? You're a big boy. Can you act like a big boy? Yeah. Anyway, so children are not expected to behave like adults. And even if they're behaving too childish, maybe there's a reason. Kids might revert to old patterns of behavior when they're anxious, nervous, or scared. You get, so they're going to start, they're going to start acting like little babies, yeah, even if they're maybe teenagers, when they're scared. Maybe they're communicating something important to you. So you just need to be very attentive. Listen. Stop judging the kid too much. Yeah. And then, Kwanzaa, this one, you make me so mad. Yeah, this one, most of our dads, they used to say this a lot. So in the words of psychologist Timothy Gunn, the number one job of a parent is to stay calm no matter what happens. This models for our kids how we want them to behave in future. Yeah, so you got to stay calm, yeah? So listen, I know it's not easy. You're probably being reactive. You're so frustrated, yeah? Yeah, this kid is always... messing up while in school. He's always getting into fights. But you gotta stay calm. Stop being so reactive as well, yeah? Yeah, so stop telling your kid that you always make me so mad. Yeah? Every time your teachers are always reporting. It's nah, man. Yeah, so stay calm. Eventually your kid, when they grow up, they'll also learn to stay calm under pressure. And then another one is, in relation to that one, don't tell your kid that you're making me sad. Hey, that's, wow. This one is I'm going to say this one is very nuanced, by the way. Don't tell your kid you're making me sad, because first of all, your emotions, your own emotional well-being is your responsibility. It's not your child's responsibility. Your child is not supposed to raise you and determine how you're supposed to feel. It's positive for children to understand that their behavior affects other people, yeah, but that's different from being responsible for their parents' feelings. You can't take that out on a child. And then, I'm disappointed in you. So it said that children are they're not responsible for your feelings, including your disappointment. Telling them so will only make them feel bad and guilty, and you don't want your child to feel guilty because it's going to affect how they express themselves. Mpe wako is not responsible for your feelings. You go for therapy if you have to. Let the child be a child. And then you did great on your test, but you can't do that all the time. How many times have you heard this one? Surely. Your kid is trying. They're only doing it the best that they can, right? So you can't ruin any positive reinforcement with a bat. You get, of course, you need to encourage your kids to do the best that they can, but wait for another time to do so. Let them enjoy the victory. Atakama, you're used to your kid getting an A, yeah? And this time around, they got a B. It is what it is. Just shout them out for the effort. And keep it moving. Don't say, Baba, you got a B in math. Good stuff. But, no. Save that but for another time, you guy. Right now, let's live in the moment. Let's enjoy the process. You guys you're going to take the kids to watch some rugby. and then mujibambe bana. But if you're now gonna bring in that but, you'll notice even when you tell your kid that, oh, you know, but you can do better, and suddenly now the energy changes. Now they're like, they're gonna start sulking like, oh snap, I didn't impress mommy, I didn't impress daddy, I'm not a good person, I'm a bad baby. And then another one, I do everything for you. Yeah. Well, Kwanzaa, this one, I remember my mom used to tell me this a lot of the times, but it's okay. As in, now that I'm a grown man, I understand. I mean, life is never easy out here. So this is, you know, it's not really the case. When you tell a child, I usually do everything for you. Obviously, you don't really do everything for your child. Some things you do for yourself, some other things you do for your husband, some other things you do for whatever, man, the community, right? The problem is that the child will always feel guilty if they do anything, quote unquote, wrong that would upset mom or dad. After all, they're selfless, Sindio. So now you're thinking, hey, you guys, my mom always sacrifices everything for me, nini. Now, anything small that you do in the house, anything, say mama yako how, right? Even if you just, you disappoint her a bit, you get that anxiety, the guilt is gonna eat you up like a cancer. You know what I mean? And the baby now is going to start being all guilty. You're thinking, damn, I disappointed my mom. You're thinking, and then now what's even worse, as a parent, you're also sulking. There's nothing as annoying as a parent sulking in the house, bana. Because of a baby. Yeah, the kid is like 12 years old. The kid is like 6 years old. Oh, me jam, bana. Why are you so mad at a child? You're sulking? And then now you're going to tell the kid that, I do everything for you. I work so hard. Now I've even gotten a loan for your school. And stop doing those things, bro. That kid didn't ask to be your child. You're stop furaing for that kid, man. Telling them that I do everything for you. You don't do everything for that child, man. That's such a twisted thing to say, man. And then another thing. This one sounds positive on the surface level, but it's really not so, like it has a negative impact in the sense that, okay, first of all, when you say, I can never say no to you. Oh, my son, I can never say no to you. Anything, Baba, anything. If I have, I'll give it to you. So one thing you need to understand is that children need boundaries. And you can only enforce them by saying no sometimes. Sema tu enye no, Baba. We can't be having junk food every time. It's not good for you, right? And then you explain why. You say you can't get out the house like my neighbors, bana. Juicy any. You get the kids who are outside playing like a 12, bana. And even if they're excited about hanging out with their neighbors, some of their friends from school have come for a sleepover, tell your kid that, yo, this is your bedtime. And tell their friends too, it's bedtime. I'm sorry, you guys can't play PS right now. It's late. No. Go switch it off and then explain to them that it's late. In the morning, they're going to continue with their games. There's got to be boundaries. You have to act like an adult, man. Yeah, so you can't say, I can never say no to you, Baba. Well, you want to play games right now? It's fine. Or you want a pizza right now? You can't do those things, but, boundaries. You got to be the man, I'm the woman of the house. Daddy, I'm a mommy. And then, I don't know how we're going to pay the bills this month. We're going to give it a break after this one, and then we'll come back with other things that you're not supposed to say to your child. This one, I don't know how we're going to pay these bills this month. Listen, your kids are supposed to be kids. They're not supposed to be worried about stuff like rent, school fees, right? They're not supposed to worry about where you're getting the food from. Let the kids be kids. You decided to be a parent, Sindio. So don't take out your stress on your children. You know what I mean? Your wasi-wasis. Children do not need to know the details of your financial struggles. It's only going to make them feel guilty and anxious. You get? And I understand. It's easy for me to say, bro. Yeah? But your kid is not your teammate. Yeah? Go tell those things to your husband. I'm your boyfriend. If you're a single parent. Or go tell it to your own parents or your sister and your brother. I wonder what wakoko. Those are your fellow adults. But you can't start telling kids who are in primo, right, how you're struggling. You know what I mean, eh? You're even now crying, right? Oh my God. Haki serikali ya Ruto. Eh? tumeteseka sana baba. I don't even know how I'm gonna feed you guys next month. You know what's gonna happen? All those kids are just gonna be there looking at you with sad faces, man. You get that like, oh my God, yeah. If we were not here, then maybe mommy wouldn't have been suffering like this. That's how kids think. I think kids they're so smart these days, man. Yeah, so I don't think it's necessary for you to tell your kids that you're struggling to pay bills. Yeah, school fees, you don't know whether. No, don't say those things. I think the best thing to do and I know many parents do it already. I'm not generalizing this thing. Yeah, but I feel like you have to force yourself to be stoic. Pray to God, to make you not worry too much. You have no reason to worry. Literally, the Bible says, do not fear. God is going to sort you out. Yeah, just keep on grinding and be stoic. Just get out there and make moves, man. Yeah, but just don't sell this whole fear thing to your children. Don't make them feel like the world is ending. They're so innocent. Literally, their minds are so innocent, bro. Like, these guys, they're so hopeful about the future. They're just excited about building and playing and having a good time. Even if you don't have much going on in the house. That's the beauty about these kids, yeah? They'll always find a way of having a good time. So don't make them anxious by telling them how you don't know how they're going to eat, nini. Just keep it moving. God is going to sort you out. So when we come back, I'll continue letting you know, of course, why you shouldn't tell your kids certain things. They literally have a negative impact on children. And words are like spells, yeah? In fact, words are spells. You would imagine that, I'm they're just going to forget. Man, yeah, bro. Kids never forget. That's going to, it literally has an impact. It affects literally every facet of their lives, yeah? Baka even how they end up raising their own kids, yeah, because of those words that you told them. Yes, when we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. Some of the things that you're not supposed to tell your kids, and I'm not here to teaching you how to be a parent, but I think you just need to consider these things that I'm telling you. Psalms 23, India Ari featuring MC Light. It's 6 minutes to 9.
Money come between my best friend and me. What I see. Old friends become new enemies.